Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty wild, a totally hidden, highly lucrative economy operating right under our noses. Look, while everyone else is out there chasing the next viral tech startup or, dreaming up the next big app, there's a quiet group of entrepreneurs building absolute massive wealth. And they're doing it by taking on the jobs that literally no one else wants to do. We are talking about the unglamorous, everyday, completely essential services. Let's dive in. So, let me ask you, when you think of massive wealth in a major city like Chicago, what pops into your head? You probably have a very specific image, right? Maybe it's a tech CEO in a hoodie pacing around a glass boardroom, or some finance bro on Wall Street making multi-million-dollar trades. But we're going to challenge those assumptions today. We're asking a much more grounded question. Where are the real millions actually being made? What are the mechanisms of wealth that, sure, they don't make the front page of Forbes, but they consistently generate massive, undeniable cash flow?
It's really a tale of two economies. On one hand, you've got the glamorous economy, the massive downtown skyscrapers, high finance, booming tech firms. Those are the businesses getting all the flashy headlines. But on the exact opposite side, you have the hidden economy, the laundromats, HVAC maintenance, commercial cleaning, waste collection. Now, these businesses definitely don't go viral on social media, but they possess something that those tech startups can only dream of: incredibly sticky, recession-resistant demand. Behind all the big city excitement, these everyday operations are quietly building massive, robust wealth.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question. Literally, what makes a completely boring business so incredibly attractive? Why do elite investors and smart, savvy operators love these mundane services? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it's deeply rooted in basic human behavior and economic necessity. It all comes down to a powerful little business model trifecta: boring, necessary, and recurring. Look, people don't buy these services for excitement. They buy them for survival. Think about it. A restaurant simply cannot operate legally without a clean kitchen. A massive apartment building, it's going to face immediate health code violations if its trash isn't removed. And an office building absolutely unequivocally needs heating and cooling. When you combine a completely boring necessity with an ongoing inescapable need, you create the ultimate business prize: high retention, guaranteed recurring revenue. All right, let's get into our first case study: commercial cleaning and how it scales. $600,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. It almost sounds too simple, doesn't it? But let's break down the math. Imagine a hypothetical cleaning company that signs contracts with just 10 commercial buildings. If each building is paying, say, $5,000 a month for cleaning, that's $50,000 in monthly revenue. Over a year, that translates to exactly $600,000 in annual revenue before expenses from just 10 reliable clients. What's so incredible here is the incredibly low barrier to entry and low overhead. You don't need millions in venture capital to buy some mops, industrial vacuums, and cleaning supplies, right? You just need the operational discipline to fulfill those 10 contracts flawlessly, night after night. And here's where it gets really fun as the company scales. We start with those 10 buildings, but when the business expands to 20 or 30 buildings, they aren't reinventing the wheel to get there. They aren't pivoting to find some entirely new product market fit. It's essentially just a copy and paste model. You secure more contracts, you hire a few more employees, and you buy more of the exact same standard equipment. This leads to exponential jumps in recurring revenue, but without proportional jumps in complexity. Moving right along to case study number 2, laundromats and asset utilization. The operational flow of a laundromat is, honestly, ridiculously simple. Step 1, bring dirty clothes. Step 2, wash them. Step 3, dry them. Step 4, pay. Fun fact for you, laundromats actually boast incredibly high success rates compared to traditional retail, and that's because this model is just so beautifully hands-off. You aren't constantly managing rotating seasonal inventory, and the machines serve hundreds of customers without a salesperson breathing down their neck. The absolute crucial takeaway here is this: the asset does the work. Think of a commercial washing machine, kind of like a commercial airplane. It only makes money when it's actively in use. The secret to massive profitability in dense urban neighborhoods isn't some flashy marketing campaign. No, it's pure utilization. The more those drums are spinning, the more revenue that square footage is generating.
Okay, let's hit our final case study: HVAC and urgency.
There's a fascinating dynamic here between the types of services offered and what actually triggers the demand. Think about it. People don't generally call an HVAC technician when they're perfectly comfortable. But imagine a freezing, brutal Chicago winter. A broken furnace creates highly inelastic demand. People do not sit around patiently price shopping when they're literally freezing to death in their own living rooms. Smart operators capture those immediate, high-margin emergency repairs, and then they seamlessly convert those panicked homeowners and landlords into long-term, recurring maintenance contracts. So, what's the real secret tying all this together? Predictable revenue. Contrast these two core business philosophies. On one side, you have the exhausting, never-ending treadmill of chasing customers and just selling to them once. But on the other side, you have the compounding power of building a solid customer base. The absolute best boring businesses are entirely focused on that second one. Escaping the struggle of one-off sales means your customer acquisition cost, your CAC, drops effectively to zero for any subsequent visits, while the lifetime value, the LTV, just skyrockets. Predictable revenue is exactly what gives these seemingly small businesses massive multi-million-dollar valuations. Now, you might be wondering, why focus on a city like Chicago for this? Well, it's because sheer density equals daily friction. You've got millions of consumers living in tight apartments, eating at thousands of restaurants, and operating sprawling warehouses. All of those tightly packed places create immense daily maintenance problems that need solving. You don't need a magical algorithm to build a massive business here. You just need to be the reliable solution to the friction that exists in a major metropolis every single day. That kind of density is an incredibly powerful economic moat. Which brings us to the ultimate blueprint, the million-dollar formula. It goes exactly like this. Step 1, find a necessary service. Step 2, create repeat customers. Step 3, implement good operations. And Step 4, scale. Sounds easy enough, right? But the magic and honestly the extreme difficulty lies squarely in Step 3, managing complex logistics, maintaining heavy physical equipment, and keeping a reliable blue-collar workforce is incredibly tough. But the fact that it lacks any revolutionary flair is exactly what protects it from casual competitors. It works because it requires highly reliable, unglamorous execution day after day. So here's my challenge to you. I want you to look past that generic small business label. Start looking for the commercial contracts, the physical assets, and that highly inelastic demand. The next time you see a loud garbage truck rolling down your street at dawn or a commercial cleaning crew entering a downtown lobby at 2 in the morning, don't just look away. You are literally looking at an invisible web of recurring cash flow. Because at the end of the day, the most boring business might just be the most interesting one. The absolute biggest financial opportunities aren't always hiding inside the newest, flashiest technology. They're hiding right inside everyday, inescapable problems. And in a massive city like Chicago, boring is very, very big business. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What other hidden millions are being made right in front of you every single day?